What is it that an employee's looking for right now, and how do we as leaders best deliver that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Look, I think they're really looking for clarity. As I was saying before, this is an unprecedented crisis. They're getting a whole heap of information and a lot of fake news. There's a lot of overload. There's a lot of cognitive dissonance. So I think having a lot of clarity in how you're communicating and being quite succinct and clear and repetitive with that message is important. I've been saying to a lot of clients, if you feel at the moment like you're just repeating yourself over and over again, you're probably actually doing it right. Because it's hard. I mean, we've all been through it. If you're struggling with external forces, it's hard to take information in sometimes. I think the other thing that people are really looking for is connection. So people are really craving community at the moment. They're feeling socially and physically isolated. There's been a wonderful uprise in neighbourhood groups and the way people are connecting locally with us all at home. But you can also create that in a workplace. And I think...
give us some examples of that.
Yeah, sure. So I'll take my team as an example, I guess. So what's really happened at PwC is you've had really kind of clear top-down communication from the CEO. So we've been having a regular cadence of CEO webcasts, which 90% of people are dialing into, which, as you can imagine, would not have been happening, I think, 6 months or a year ago. And that's been really clear and really helpful. It means everyone has the same information. We have a single point of truth, so we have a single site that we can all go to for ongoing information updates. But the way your individual team works is much more kind of bottom down and grassroots and how it suits you to connect. So in my team, we use collaboration software to connect. We have the Google Suite. We're on Hangouts. We have a morning stand-up. We often have a stand-down. We have things like virtual coffees and virtual lunches, and we make sure that we're being quite precise about checking in a lot, and that's made a very big difference.
You also talked a little bit off camera a little earlier. We were talking about reward of employees and recognition, even though we're deploying a workforce now geographically all over. Give us some examples of what good looks like when it comes to, employee engagement and recognition and reward. Yeah,
sure. I think the interesting thing to your last question, your earlier question about whether the principles of communication had changed, is actually the intent shouldn't change. So if your intent is to reward employees and you used to have an amazing gala dinner, when you think back to it, what does that mean? Well, it's actually people being recognised in front of their peers. It's having an experience. It's feeling like it's important to leadership. So it's just about how you can create that in a virtual world. And so you could have, a huge virtual event. You can still have people nominate for awards. You can still call out people who are doing an amazing job through all of your different communications channels. You can send stuff to their house. That never hurts. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do it. And I think something that I personally found really interesting, and we've talked about this before, is we always used to say that face-to-face was the gold standard for doing business, for communications. And because we've been forced away from that, it's meant that people have had to be really creative. And I think some of that stuff will stick.